Have you ever stared at a painting and thought, this is not working? Maybe you've felt stuck and second guessed every brushstroke or wondered if you should just start over. I've been there more times than I can count, actually. And here's something that most people don't talk about. And that is that painting never truly feels easy, not even for experienced artists. One reason could be that you're trying to do something different, and that causes us to feel uncomfortable. It's almost like when you have a few strong habits in your daily routine and then something unexpected happens that forces you to just stop what you usually do and do something totally different. Another important thing is that the creative process has its ups and downs. Art isn't about going from point A to B in a smooth fashion. It has twists and turns and moments where you question everything. And that is just part of the journey. Another one is that we have high expectations. We often have a vision in our head of what we want our painting to look like, and it can be really frustrating when that reality doesn't match up. It's so easy to get caught up in negative thoughts and start second guessing your abilities, especially when you're feeling vulnerable about your art. Or maybe you're just comparing yourself to others, because in today's world of social media, it's so easy to just compare your work to others, and that will really leave you feeling like your work isn't good enough. And sometimes we just have technical challenges. We might struggle with a particular technique or a concept, which can lead to frustration and give us the feeling that our painting just isn't working. But the good news is that these feelings are more often temporary than not. Okay, so I'm going to dive into some solutions for all of the problems that I've just talked about. But first, I want to kind of explain what's going on with me with this painting. So as I work on this piece, I can feel a lot of resistance creeping in. I'm not happy with the colors and I'm questioning all of my choices. And that little voice in my head is really starting to take over. And it's like, maybe you should go get some other colors, or maybe you should just start this over and you're not going to be able to do this, and all of the things. And that is exactly what I want to talk about. So painting really does never get easy because it's a process of constant decision making. And each time you create something new, you're stepping into the unknown, right? And the unknown feels uncomfortable, even when you have years of experience. So when I first started painting, I used to struggle a lot with this. I would get stuck in my head and I'd overthink every brushstroke that I made. I was afraid of ruining my work. And yeah, I spent years looking for answers, watching tutorials and taking classes and all of the things. And I was always feeling like I was missing something. I thought there was some secret that other artists knew about, but I didn't. And what I actually realized was that the biggest shift doesn't come from knowing more. It comes from trusting yourself more. And trust doesn't mean painting suddenly becomes easy either. It just means that when you feel stuck, you won't panic because you've built the experience to know that these moments are part of the process. So instead of feeling like you're failing, you recognize that the frustration means that you're pushing yourself. And yes, it does feel uncomfortable, but you just know that you have to live with that in order to get the thing finished. All right, I know that sounds really negative in some ways, but I want you to know that there are some good things. And one of the most important things is that when you keep one foot outside of your comfort zone, you are going to grow. So if painting always felt easy, it would just mean that you're staying in the same place, repeating what you already know. But when you push yourself, whether it's by using unfamiliar colors or making bolder marks or whatever, you open the door to something new. And, I've been there, so I know exactly what I'm talking about because I chose to stay in my comfort zone for way too long. And it wasn't until I allowed myself to take some risks and make some ugly paintings and embrace everything that felt uncertain that my art started to change. And not just my art, but I also started to change because every time I stepped into that discomfort and just worked through it, I became more and more confident. Not just as an artist, but in my own voice. And over time, you get better at navigating that space between what feels safe and what feels uncertain. And that's where all the good breakthroughs happen, right? So every painting goes through that ugly phase, and every artist questions their choices. But the more you paint, the more you build trust in yourself, and you start to understand that frustration is just temporary. And you know that with each new layer, the painting is going to evolve and change, and it's not going to look what it looks like now. All right, so let me dive into some of the solutions to all of the things that could cause frustration like this. So, the first thing to think about, as I said, is to remember that these feelings are temporary. What you can do is take a break, just step away from your painting for a while, and then come back to it with fresh eyes. Because sometimes we just get so in our head that we're not able to see what's really going on. Another good trick is to try to just switch your tools. Try something new. Even if you bring in a new color, that's okay too. So don't be afraid to make mistakes either, because mistakes are part of learning and growing as an artist. So without mistakes, you're not going to get anywhere. So try and be kind to yourself when it comes to that. And try to remember why you love painting. Try to focus on the joy and the satisfaction that the act of creating brings to you, because after all, that's the most important thing. And if you have other artist friends, share your struggles. And I mean, if it helps, you can leave as many comments as you want to my videos, and I promise that I will answer them. As long as I can, I will answer comments. So that is actually what I've done, and it's worked for me, and I hope that it's something that will work for you too. But most importantly, be patient and kind to yourself, because painting is a journey, and every step along the way is valuable, no matter how it looks or how it feels, okay? So this is where I was really frustrated, and what did I do? I took out some charcoal and I just started making some crazy marks just to kind of break my train of thought and start focusing on something other than all of the negative stuff that was going on my canvas. At this point, I've been going for a while, so I decided to just keep my palette as it was and try and use the paint and just create some interest. Because the next time when I come back to this painting, I know that I can just keep going and I can use new colors on top of this layer. Yeah, so that gets me to think of some of the things that my students do and that I see happen on social media all the time. So I see people that are not happy with their paintings. And what they do is they come in with white paint and they just paint over the whole canvas so that they can start from a blank canvas again. And that is such a big mistake, because now they're losing all the interest that they've created in that mid phase of this painting that would create a lot of excitement in the new version. And there's another problem, because when you keep painting over your paintings like that, you just force yourself to start over. And then when you reach that ugly phase again, you're right back where you started. So if you are feeling a lot of frustration and struggling right now, just know that that's completely normal. Frustration isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's just proof that you're growing. And that's why painting never truly feels easy. But in a way, that's what makes it exciting too, right? So I don't know if there's going to be a second part to this painting, but if you want to see how it turns out, you can head over to Instagram, because I will definitely be posting it there. All right, so if you're struggling and you feel like you need to build more confidence in your painting process, I have a lot of free content on my site, so head over there. I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll even put one in the comment section so you can find it easily. All right, until next week, guys. Bye.